genetically modified organisms are plants, animals, or other organisms whose genetic makeup has been modified in a laboratory using genetic engineering or transgenic technology. This is according to the Institute of Responsible Technology. Growing up, I grew up on a dairy farm, and essentially a dairy farm is farming combined with dairying, where we farm our own forages and provide for our own cows. So growing up, I grew up with GMOs my whole life without really realizing it. And in this presentation, I'm going to show you what GMOs look like, explain their purpose, particularly for corn, and I'm going to tell you all the benefits GMOs provide for farmers. So, this is a GMO. It's pretty simple. Not too extravagant. All it is a little seed. And when you look at this corn seed compared to a corn seed you see in like a store, it's a little different looking. But this corn seed isn't for human consumption. This is for cows. This is for silage, which we feed the cows, and essentially for other animals too. But it's also edible, like people can eat it just doesn't taste sweet like sweet corn would. And right here shows how GMOs are made. So the purpose of a GMO is to get a characteristic that people want in corn, and you can put that in the DNA of a seed like these, and then that corn will grow with those characteristics. You can get that by crossbreeding, but it also transfers the unwanted characteristics, and that's the downfall of doing it the traditional way, where genetic engineering will take that one desired gene and put it in a certain trait of corn. The reason we do this is because it allows corn. It's mainly for the startup of corn. So corn is very susceptible to disease, and it dies really easy if it's not in the proper climate or taken care of well. So this allows corn to grow, to have a strong start, a strong stalk, and when it grows, you can genetically modify corn to have bigger ears of corn and grow with less water, and many other things. And the reason we do this is because California, in general, is very bad when it comes to water, especially Central Valley. And water regulations are very strict. And farmers struggle when it comes to irrigating their crops in the Central Valley, and that's what GMOs are for. Because we can grow in mass using half the amount of water that it would take to grow traditional corn that essentially won't grow as well and be as nutritional as traditional corn. According to Pioneer, which is it's a company that creates their own genetically modified seeds. There's other companies too, like Mycogen. But according to Pioneer's website, the corn genetically modified corn has roots that grow down deeper, and which allows them to be able to find more water that's trapped in the soil, and it takes less water to irrigate them, and it grows the ears bigger and makes them a lot more nutritional. Where traditional corn, if you grow it, the roots are very small and they don't branch out very wide. And because of this, they die really easy in our climate, especially where I'm from, where it's 110 during the summers. But the biggest thing about GMOs is all the benefits that they can provide. And the one word that kind of destroys GMOs and gives it a negative viewpoint is organic. Now, when you think of organic, you think of organic foods. And there's nothing wrong with organic foods, but when you think of organic foods, that puts a negative insight on all GMOs, where these GMOs aren't for human consumption. So there's GMOs that can be used for other purposes, but there's also GMOs that can be used for human consumption or animals, which I'm not going to get into that because that's kind of creepy if you have genetically modified animals. But GMOs, when it comes to farming, they provide a lot of benefits that can be used all over the world, especially in third world countries that are struggling to feed their people. And this is where GMOs for food would come in handy for third world countries. But they have so many people, such as India, which there's actually a study in India by a group called the Live Strong that they conducted in India, where they were not able to provide enough food for most of their people, and people were starving to death. And then they started using GMOs and being able to grow a lot more corn, make it a lot more healthier, and it was able to start feeding their people. And GMOs, Livestrong also did another study where GMOs didn't affect human health at all, and it was actually more nutritious and healthier for people. And these are just some of the benefits that go along with it, and I'm not going to get into those yet. But all the negative viewpoints about GMOs really hinder the process of making them, and it puts a negative viewpoint, and it makes it a struggle for farmers in the Central Valley and all over. And there's GMOs that are being used all over the country. And I just wanted to explain that there's a need for GMOs, and it can go beyond just it can go beyond for corn. I mean, we use GMOs for wheat, sorghum, which is another type of, it's like a sugarcane corn. And using GMOs, just put it into words, it's easier and it's better. And I just want to get the point across that GMOs help benefit the world. And I'm sure if people were able to understand the good part of GMOs when it comes to farming, aside from organic foods, that people would be able to support the use for farming, GMOs for farming, and it would be able to put a lot brighter outlook on farming, and the support for GMOs would be a lot better. Thank you.